Instagram makes tumors in your brain. Okay, listen. When did self-improvement become this common thing? When did it become this mainstream thing? You know, it used to be special. We used to be not everybody was always on the grind improving themselves. You know, there used to be a time before this, before everyone was hyper optimizing, looks maxing, on that carnivore diet. There's a time before this. If everyone is headed in this direction, where are we really going? And especially in the Muslim sphere, you're seeing people becoming more comfortable making these Islamic self-help content as well. You see people bridging together different Western methodologies with Islam, sometimes not as much Islam, sometimes coming with a more Islamic lens. Now, I'm one person that does that, so I'm just saying, I'm just making an observation here, guys. But, like, what the heck is going on? I swear to you, Instagram does give people tumors. Because you're telling me you're on that app, you're seeing women, you're seeing guys doing all these things, you're seeing these 21-year-olds becoming millionaires, and that's not messing you up? Yeah, a lot of it's good. Like, yeah, sure, work out, good. Get better at talking to people, great. That's something I talk about a lot. Get your health up, get married, great, we love it. I'm missing one. Health, wealth. Oh, get your money up, of course. But the problem comes where it's just like this, like, wish-washy, like, manipulative hustle culture, which is not good. Guys, I thought hustle culture was gone. I thought we moved past that collectively. I thought we understood that wasn't healthy. Like, why do people? There's literally a book called Rest. Like, why do we have to buy that book and learn how to rest? Like, where to go? We're our heads spinning in circles, and I see a lot of Muslim guys. They're headed toward this path, and my warning to them is really something that we learned from Fight Club. On the surface of that film, just to use it as an analogy, you have this man that is down and depressed, and he finds some sort of meaning, but that's not enough. That's too feminine. So he goes and he starts like punching guys and fighting guys, and starts this movement and starts this club and this brotherhood, right? And becomes a leader and gets all the things that he wanted. And then the end is kind of weird and artsy. It's a surface level reading of the film. It is way deeper than this. See, Tyler Durden is this almost like cult leader, and everybody like worships him. This is wrong, because he's not even coming in with grounded ideas. His ideas are postmodern ideas. His ideas are rip everything apart. It's chaos. And you're following people like this. And you're following people that have the Brad Pitt abs and the jawline and the hair, and they have great lighting on them, and they're saying these smart little quips, this pop self-help, these quotes, right? Pop wisdom. And it's coming at you, and you feel that, like, yes, and you want to be part of this community, when you're not even realizing that you're foregoing your own critical thinking. Like, you're not even thinking for yourself, which is actually something that's talked about in the Quran. It talks about thinking for yourself, and to take from what all the different knowledge, and to make up your own mind, right? To weigh the opinions. And we're losing this in this AI age. We're losing this. And I'm really afraid for the Ummah in this regard. Like, guys, we need to develop this thinking skills. You're not just blindly following people and just like, oh, and you're optimizing. And the other thing is the intention. We're optimizing for what sake? Is there sincerity in your intention? Because if your intention is to get worldly gains, you'll get worldly gains. If your intention is to get akhirah gains, inshallah, you will get akhirah gains. Right? So how are we forgetting? Guys, this is the first hadith in the 40 hadith compilation. How's your Islamic knowledge? Are you just scrolling on Instagram? Like, join Muslim Blueprint. Level up, like, understand your role as a Muslim in the West. I'm serious. Links down below. I don't get any money from that. Guys, we need to wake up. This is also like the Matrix. Oh, and everybody got so hyped up by Andrew Tate. Where is he now? Who talks about Andrew Tate now? Guys, if Andrew Tate is not relevant anymore, he was the biggest thing. People couldn't get enough of him. Do you see how fleeting these stars are? I give the example as well. I like to give this example of that rapper, that Gucci Gang guy. What was his name? See, like, young guys right now don't even know him, right? But he was like the stuff when I was in high school. Everybody's like, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Lil Pump is his name, right? The guy that had like red dreadlocks. Where is he now? And these are the distractions of the dunya. These are the distractions, the deception. We need to protect ourselves. Because these are, you know how people talk about, oh, the Illuminati and, you know, the secret hidden, you know, Kanye West and you know, Jay-Z is all part of the Illuminati and all this stuff. And Diddy, oh, yeah. Diddy, guys, ha! Right? It's a shaitanic agenda. It's a satanic agenda to demoralize the masses, to get you in love and to love these Drake songs, right? And to love these people that are not calling towards good and forbidding evil. Guys, we need to follow people that have prophetic qualities. When we're assessing who's a leader, who should I follow, we should assess people with prophetic qualities. But we're not. Why? Because we don't have an Islamic way of thinking. This is the main issue. See, something that alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful, and may Allah bless the guys at Sapiens Institute and Muhammad Hijab and all the guys working there. And when I was in high school, I recognized this. I made it a point. I basically, what you want to do is go and learn about the fundamental of Western thought. So basically, like, when the printing press and everything was created, they started mass producing these works of certain people like John Locke and Thomas Hobbes and these different Darwin, these different Western philosophers. And then it started to multiply, as well as the Islamic Golden Age. After, and the West was in the Dark Ages, they started making copies as well of Islamic literature to boost them out of, to get them themselves out of that, right? And they got a lot of good stuff from, by the way, the timelines on those two things are separate. I have to look that up. But the West got good stuff from us, our science, our technology, but a lot of their philosophies they got from their own people, these Western thinkers, right? This is why people like these white basically this is like white guys. They like idolize. They're like Aristotle, Socrates. These guys that were just smoking like a blunt and just like, you know, chilling in like Greece and Rome, right? And just writing stuff down. They have some cool thoughts, but stoners have cool thoughts. So, and these Western thinkers have basically sprouted the foundation. The same way that the soil in your environment, whatever's the nutrients in there will determine the nutritional value of the plant. These thinkers have created the seed for the plants of the new Western civilization, and it's grown in a very complex way with these trees and branches, and it's all very beautiful. But no. Say no to the phone. Say no to the notifications. You're not a dog. Say no to the notifications. Actually, that was just those are like the default ones. I have to figure out how to turn those off. But I've turned off a lot of notifications on my phone. I'm not a dog, guys. You have to turn off. If you haven't done that, by the way, do that right now. Turn off, like, you have to go and turn off the notifications that you don't want on your phone. You need to protect your energy and your time. So we've adopted this through naturally just going through the Western school system. You are thinking, when you learn science, for example, you're not learning about, oh, this is the creation of Allah. You're not learning that. You're learning about some theory that some Western guy came up with. Obviously also not crediting the Islamic thinkers of the past and how they, through inspiration and connection from Allah, they were able to progress in those sciences. And looking at the Quran, we know about the scientific miracles of the Quran. From the Quran, we know about this. It's not something new. So why is this? There's this dissonance. There's this split in our head that what we call it the secular studies and there's the Western studies, and then there's, Islamic studies, and you need to do both. Ideally, to be a good little beta, you need to learn both, and may Allah, get you a good corporate job, 100K, and be, on the deen as well. This is sort of what we picture as, the ideal. You have a 100K job, and you're, going to the masjid, and you're involved in some sort of community work. Like, this is like golden beta status. This is like our vision, our parents, maybe it's our parents' vision for the young Muslims. The young Muslims, they're a little bit more on this self-improvement, like, yeah, gonna, get jacked and like, do all this stuff, and then like, have like 4 wives, and like, that's like the new sort of thing that people are thinking about. But what we're missing is the true vision of Islam. Again, we need to look back at the prophetic model, right? These are the people that you want to emulate. What did they have? What were they doing? Okay. And what are we misunderstanding about Islam? What we're misunderstanding is that split between, oh, this is my life, and this is, my prayer, ritual, worship, and limiting Islam to the spiritual realm, right? Because if you were living in an Islamic-based system, then we wouldn't have this issue of not Islamic thinking. So this is something to think about, because like from an educational perspective, we come in just to understand where the ummah is. I'm going to give you like a couple quick examples. For schools, what do? We copy the Western school model that's based off of the factory model, right? The lecture-based model that is ineffective, that is not something that is like a sunnah. We just copy that model. And then what do? We add Quran and we add Islamic studies, and then we call it, and then we make it all Muslims and call it an Islamic school. It's pretty good idea, like big step. But are we equipping our students to live in the real world as a Muslim? No. No, because our ideological understanding is very weak. What do I mean by this? Think about it. When you go to Jummah, what do you get? You want a little spiritual high. You want a little spiritual boost, you get it, you say alhamdulillah, you feel good, you feel less bad about what's going on in Gaza, and then you go on with your week, unless you listen to some khutbahs and you're really a nice beta and you listen to some I love this analogy, the golden beta, right? You you listen to some khutbahs throughout the week, and may Allah bless everybody who's pursuing Islamic studies outside of Jummah, right? Because you are the golden beta. But just understanding that it's not enough. We need a strong ideological frame and understand that Islam is comprehensive and holistic. So you want an education system that is Islamic, that is teaching you from Islamic-based fundamentals, getting you thinking in an Islamic way, not thinking in a fragmented, colonized mindset, that you're thinking like you're a slave, and how can I as a Muslim fit within the white person's company and make them money? And that is your output for your life. You are an economic battery in the matrix of this kuffar's company. And love to my white Muslim brothers, by the way. When I say white man, I'm just trying to pull on those colonized heartstrings. I love you guys. Example number 2. Let's look at the Islamic financial system. When you see any product that's marketed usually as Sharia compliant, anyone who's in Islamic finance knows this. I hope they know this. I pray that they know this. Sharia compliant means within the Western system, within the laws that were made by these old white guys, these Western guys, kuffar, with kuffar ideology and kuffar thinking. They created some economic system. Have you heard of Jekyll Island? Look that up. And they just came up with a financial system. Within that system, can we practice? Within their box, can we practice in an Islamic way? Versus a Sharia compliance system is you say, no, Allah has jurisdiction over your financial endeavors. No, we're going to follow the system that He has given to us. And then see how now you don't have the riba problem? Because the ecosystem doesn't have it. See, do you see how this works? Do you see how beautiful Islam is? SubhanAllah. So may Allah keep us sincere. And practical steps. Let's talk some action steps. Okay, what I want you to start doing is it's called desecularizing your mind. And by secular, I don't mean like secular studies and Islamic studies. This is a wrong idea of secular. Secular means you separate the church and the state. You separate the masjid and the governance structure. When you start looking at Islam as a system, borders, boundaries. The Sharia is what? Rulings, boundaries, borders. Not just philosophical borders, but physical borders. When you start thinking of it like that, you're going to understand the beauty of Islam as a solution. In terms of chasing all these self-improvement guys, yes, take the good from them. But don't lose track of your final destination, which is supposed to be Jannah. So when you're like dunya maxing, like this is, everybody talks about maxing, this is dunya maxing. This is their self-improvement is dunya maxing. Think about it. Right? How can I get the best looks, the best fade, the best, jawline? Right? Okay, and now I'm gonna go and talk to girls and which is sure, talk to girls, go ahead. But I'm gonna make my Instagram, and at the same time this red pill resentment of females posting themselves online, which is wrong, of course, and posting revealing photos and unnecessary things online. If you're spreading dawah, it's okay. and just getting all worked up about that. It's like, you're doing the same thing, my brother. You're doing the same thing. You're objectifying yourself. You're commoditizing yourself and seeing how you can get the most dunya gain. Now, for the females, maybe this is posting their body. But for they're just making the male version of that. So you're basically no better than the Instagram model. This is where we need to have real intention. This is where we have to have sincere intention, and we need to think a little bit more deeply. And that's really what I ask. So do a little bit of reading. Check out Sapiens Institute, and they're very good at understanding, if you want to become, like, from an academic perspective, if you're someone that studied any sort of field, especially social science, or science, or basically you went to university, you're going to want to check out Sapiens Institute, and they'll basically take a toothbrush and scrub out the un-Islamic thinking. And then if you want to, desecularize, which is the next step, beyond that, I'd say take the Muslim Blueprint program down below. Look to more self-improvement, Islamic self-improvement content for myself. This is what we talk about on the channel. We talk about tazkiyah, Islamic psychology, social dynamics, how to communicate better, be a better leader, follow the prophetic sunnah, as well as ummah development and personal development, right? So, like, actually, how do you improve yourself? Again, all coming from that intention of pleasing Allah. And I'm going to leave you off with an amazing, amazing thought given to me by a teacher of mine. He said, first thing when you go into anything, and we were talking about it in a social skills context, but he said, is the fear of Allah and the pleasure of Allah. So let's keep those two things in mind, inshallah. All right. Like, subscribe, just engage, comment with this video, right? Congratulations to make it to the end. You're a real one. And I know that you're a person that is really going to try and take action on this advice, inshallah. All links are below. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.